Yes, people, welcome back to another stream on the channel. Today we'll be talking about the 6-3 loss and the North London derby because Elliot wasn't there yesterday, so we'll get his thoughts. And then, what can I say? But we'll talk about the North London derby first. But let me just pick up and the guests that want to talk about United and swap me and etc. etc. We've got Joe in the back. How are you doing?
Yo,
Joe?
working.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. We've got Elliot as well. How you doing, Elliot? If his Wi-Fi works. Elliot, you there? Yeah. Oh, hang on. Elliot?
New carriage train.
Yeah, man. I'll add you in the back room. You fix your stuff. We've got Manny. Big up yourself. How you doing?
Yeah, good. And let me just say that I'm not gonna, I don't want to rub it in, but I was doing a watch along for Hanno's channel, and boy, I need to be doing more of these watch alongs with him. And big up to him. That was a terrific game, but I am sorry about the result. I will say that there are some positives that you could take from the game, but clearly, there's a lot of work to be done. So, my commiserations.
That's fine. Hashim says, I got humbled. He says, I just love all the pre-match hype you guys had during the international break. Makes me laugh. Obviously, people smash the likes. Yeah, man. Just smash the likes because at least I'm doing a show and I'm turning up. But some others won't even do a show. So, smash the likes. James says, Legend Money. Big up, James. Evening, James.
Thanks for joining in the chat, James. I mean, I hope you enjoyed listening to that. Because I wasn't controlling the watch along, I couldn't add you, so I do apologize for that. But wait, have you started already?
Yeah, we're live. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I didn't realize that, but it's good to be on, and I'm glad that my mic is not on mute.
Yeah, that's fine. But obviously, Marnie, you wasn't there when we did match reaction for the North London derby, but we'll talk about that first, and then we'll talk about the game today. But obviously, Marnie, Arsenal 3, Tottenham 1. Your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I'm torn between regretting having missed the first half of the game, but also feeling happy that I was able to see the second half when we really turned on the style. I think it's fair to say, Oris, that we sort of came at Tottenham very early in the game, and that goal from Thomas Partey is the type of goal you could watch again and again and again, an absolute corker. And then, of course, Harry Kane with his penalty, it just had to be. And then at the break, it was 1-1, which was the score that I predicted. Now, there are some cynics who will say that the Jesus goal really came about from a combination of, lazy goalkeeping from Hugo Lloris and some pretty brainless defending from Christian Romero. And, of course, the sending off of Emerson Royale didn't help matters. But I will definitely say in reply to them that on the balance of play, we were by far the better team. We had more intent. And, Conte will have to take a look at himself and just wonder, with all of that attacking midfield talent at his disposal, albeit there was no Dejan Kulusevski who was injured, because he was injured, Royale had to come in as a right wing back with Romero as the right centre back. But with all that talent at his disposal, was that the best he could do in the North London derby against us? And this isn't going to be revenge for losing 3-0 at White Hart Lane by any stretch of the imagination, because let's not forget, they beat us 3-0, we beat them 3-1, they scored. And of course, that defeat cost us our Champions League position. But this is a sign that we are intending to, challenge for higher honours. We are making some great progress, and we are doing really well. I'm definitely not going to big it up and say that we are title contenders just yet, because look, we always say that there is many a slip between the cup and the lip. So many things can happen. And I'm sorry if I keep turning, but I'm just catching the Leeds Villa game as well. So, So we do look good, and I'm really, really happy with the way we performed, and I don't see any real weaknesses. Having said that, given that there were some huge doubts about the fitness and availability of Thomas Partey and Alexander Zinchenko and even Kieran Tierney, we cannot be smug just yet, because look, 2 injuries, and the apple cart could be upset. And if either Jesus or Martinelli gets injured, and we are forced to start with Eddie and Nketiah, then let me tell you, we could very well be stuck up a gum tree. And it was just as well that Jesus was substituted rather than running the risk of being suspended for the Liverpool game, which is our next assignment. So all in all, there's a lot to be happy about. But the reason why I am telling everyone to calm down is because it's still very early, and we still do not have the squad depth that will see us through this season, especially given that we've got the Europa League and 2 domestic cup competitions. So let's enjoy the win. And as far as I'm concerned, with Flair, Joel, and DJ Craty in the chat, North London is
Red.
And that's
but
the way
Elliot,
it is.
when it comes to Elliot, because he wasn't there yesterday's reaction. Elliot, your thoughts, man, your thoughts.
Yes, we all know what the colour of North London is. We all know that it is red. We proved it right yesterday. You know, we played so well. We had that.
It's a shame.
20 minutes.
It's a shame that I can't say the same thing about Manchester, but yeah, carry on.
And you've got those red seats behind you. Brilliant.
Yeah, just to commentate that, but yeah. So we played really well. But there's a bit in the first half where I thought it was as soon as Partey scored, really, the players were a bit too calm, I think. You know, we had obviously the half-time team talk with Arteta clearly helped in the second half. You know what he's like.
The light bulb. I'm not even going to play that because I can't be asked. I really can't be asked, man. But
yeah, it's obviously second half we played a lot better again, and yeah, I think we were very dominant for this game, and yeah, really happy with the players, especially Partey. I think Partey was man of the match for me. What a game he had!
Oh, mate, that goal was brilliant. Big up Granit Xhaka, by the way. Again.
Yeah, Xhaka as well.
Yeah, man. But I'm not sure if I'm ready to go first in this game because I'm generally this. I'm so angry with this, but whoever wants to go first, feel free because I'll just come back. I'll just want to hit the opposition. Yeah, go on.
I mean, that first half from City was one of the best performances I've seen ever. I think it was so good, especially with Haaland, finishing, and Foden. They were just dominant. Passing, everything they were doing, brilliant. Grealish, brilliant. Good. But, all right, Martinez and Varane. They need coming down a lot. Like they're good. There's a good centre-back partnership. People saying it's the best in the Prem. Like, you need to calm down. People were saying it's better than City. City didn't get any defenders. It proved today. They played a world-class attack. Conceded 6. Like, they're good defenders, but City obviously got the best attack in the Premier League. They're too good for everyone.
So I just knew Joe was going to get onto Martinez first. I just knew it because you know what? Every time when United lose, all I'm going to is Martinez. Don't get me wrong, No, let me speak because I'll let you speak. Martinez was bad today. Don't get me wrong. Martinez was bad today. And I'm seeing certain people giving him a 7 out of 10. So you're disgraceful for that, whoever. You know you are for giving a 7 out of 10. No United player should get even over a 6 today. Every United player should be ashamed of themselves. Except, actually, not everyone. Everyone. Even Anthony even scored that brilliant goal. Everyone should be ashamed. You're going into the Manchester derby, 4-0 down in the first 44 minutes. Like, what the actual hell am I watching, man? And to be fair, I feel bad for the fans.
That's exactly why.
I feel bad for the fans, and they should deserve to leave early. They should deserve because you know what, United players, they don't give a shit about the fans. That's what they do. That's what they don't. They don't give a shit about the fans. Well done to the United fans that left early because they deserve it. They deserve to leave early because why would they spend 90 minutes watching that shit performance today? That was worse than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm gonna admit this. Tanag got this wrong. The players got it wrong. Rashford and McTominay, traps, mate. You told me to give respect to both of them, Okay, Today, what did they do? Rashford trying to think he's the next Messi and trying to skill up Cancelo Walker. Nope. McTominay losing their midfield battle. What did I say about McTominay, man? Consistency. I always said with Rashford and McTominay, they have to prove me wrong. They have to be consistent, and they are not consistent. They're not good enough to wear the shirt. Who else? I thought Manasseh was a disgrace. Don't get me wrong. I like Manasseh, but he was a disgrace. That's why Ten Hag took him off. Diego Dalot, for me, listen, before the City game, I said he was up there in the Premier League, but now I don't know. Like, oh my days. Ilyas, mate. Ilyas, how you saying Liverpool fans, they're not going to come for you now, but I'm pretty sure you're 10th in the table. So, yeah. Arsenal for life says, yo. But yeah, listen, it was embarrassing, man. It was embarrassing that you're letting 2 City players get a hat trick today. That's for me. That's embarrassing. As I said, Ten Hag got this wrong. I'm sure he's gonna speak to the players tomorrow. They're gonna have a meeting or something like that. But I don't give a shit, mate, because they can have meetings as long as they want. But all I care about is how they react to this. Because next week we've got Everton away. We all know what happened last season, Everton away, when Ronaldo did that incident with that little kid's phone. So if we don't show a reaction next week, then that tells you about the players. But for me, I am disappointed with every player today. I am disappointed. They should keep their head down. All of them should realize what clubs they're playing for. They should all realize what club they're playing for. Not Accrington Stanley, not Plymouth Argyle, but you're playing for Manchester United and not turn up into one of the biggest derby in the weekend for me. For me, it's the biggest derby this weekend. It was the biggest. Don't get me wrong. Arsenal Spurs. No. Arsenal Spurs, when it's at the Emirates, it's not a derby because you always beat them. But when it's City United, it's 50-50. It's 50-50. But as I said,
I think today proved was. I think City today proved where Arsenal Tottenham bigger game and a bigger derby, because City United it's not even competitive. It's always like it's not competitive anymore. City is so far ahead.
Okay.
It's it's basically like the equivalent of Chelsea to Fulham with the derby now, isn't it? Right now in form. There's just such a big gap. Like it's not Arsenal Tottenham's competitive. We're around the same level.
Ten Hag needs to stop playing McTominay. He needs to stop keeping the lineup the same. Maybe try something different. Ten Hag. Try something different. Start Casemiro, start Martial. But you know what? I understand. He wants to give players based on merits and performances. So I understand that point. But for me, today, he got it wrong. The tactics wrong. His in-game plan wrong. And there's nothing much I can say, to be fair. I'm just disappointed in every United player. What can I say, man? What can I say?
He needs to give Casemiro that chance to see how he is and stuff like that. But because Ten Hag hasn't actually given Casemiro the chance to prove himself yet.
And the thing is, City fans are doing a flipping Poznan, man. This is what I hate the most. When City fans do the Poznan, that's what annoys me, man. Because when City fans are doing a Poznan against us, that tells you that they are embarrassing us. And when they do the Olays and all that, that's what gets to my head, mate. Because I'm sick of last season. I had enough with on the Ollie. Now I'm seeing it more this season. So for me, I've had enough. These players need tomorrow morning. They need to wake up and realize what just happened today, because that was flipping embarrassing. Fair play to the fans that actually stayed, because for me, if I was there, I would have walked off for me. But let me get the opposition. Let me get the neutral side. So we've already got Joel's thoughts, blaming on Martinez already. Manny, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm glad you've come to me, because I had the privilege of watching that as and covering that as part of Hanno's watch along, and everything you said about Ten Hag and his tactics, spot on. And this is the thing with Ten Hag. I mean, it's one thing to simply try to play players on form and also, reward performances, as you said, Oris. But sometimes there comes times when the best managers are able to adopt the horses for courses policy, and that means that if McTominay, for example, he strikes me as that type of person who would have been bullied in many ways by the City midfield, and maybe the 4-2-3-1 formation up against City's 4-3-3. I get that maybe United didn't really have the personnel who could form the three-man forward line, but the midfield line should definitely have had more. Why not show some imagination and play Casemiro, Eriksen, and McTominay if you like McTominay so much? And then if you want a forward line, make it Rashford and Sancho and Anthony. Do it that way. But it seems clear to me that Ten Hag still doesn't quite feel that Casemiro is really ready. But then why would you want to pick Rashford and Sancho, who have just come back from an injury? Why would you want to risk them in a game like this when you also have Cristiano Ronaldo on the bench? And one thing we haven't touched on is that Ronaldo didn't even get on the field. So is there signs that the potential cracks in the relationship between Ronaldo and Ten Hag and United?
Yeah, I've just seen something. Samuel Locke's reported saying Ten Hag has said that he didn't want to bring Ronaldo out of respect for his career. So it just came out right now. So
that's ridiculous. I mean, Ronaldo more than anyone else, having played with United for as long as he has, will have known more about how important that derby is. He would have been chomping at the bit to be playing. And so to just bring back Rashford and Sancho, who, as you know, Orest, were injured and just came back to full fitness, it was a slap in his face. And then, pardon me, my apologies, not picking Casemiro, not picking Ronaldo, sticking with McTominay, and as you said, Dalot and Malacia were completely ripped to shreds today. And even Shaw, who came on, I thought he added a little bit of solidity, but he also must share some blame for playing Phil Foden onside for his hat-trick goal. So there are problems all around the squad. What I will say about Manchester United is, I know you'll probably believe that the fact that you scored 3 goals is no cause for comfort, given how the match was won in the first half and how City ripped you to shreds, and I completely respect that. But here's the thing. It just goes to show that City do have some weak points. They can be a little bit sloppy in their play, and Guardiola in his post-match press conference made it very clear. He didn't like the fact that they conceded 3 goals. He didn't like the fact that some of the passing later on in the game was a little bit sloppy. Maybe he should be blamed for bringing on 4 substitutes at a time. Palmer, Alvarez, Mahrez, and who was the other bugger? I don't quite remember. Whoever it is, I don't care at this point. It's all academic. But, that just goes to show that City do have some weak points. And you've got to be willing to follow the examples of Newcastle and Aston Villa, who, stayed strong and took the game to them and eventually got their rewards. And those games could have been losses for City. But when you have that 4-2-3-1 formation with Eriksen and McTominay as your defensive midfielders playing in front of the back 4, you're asking for trouble. When you have someone of Casemiro's experience, you do not stick him on the bench. No. You give him the honor of playing in the derby, and you stick McTominay on the bench, or you play a 3-man midfield and keep McTominay if you like him that much. That's called horses for courses. And, of course, it was nice to see Fred coming on and playing his role in Martial getting 2 of his goals. So there is still some hope, but you are going to need some major surgery in the January transfer window. You will certainly need to offload a few players who clearly are not up to the standard and who are past their sell-by date in many ways. I mean, you take a look at what Antonio Conte did with Tottenham Hotspur. He shipped out 4 players from his squad who he believed wouldn't be good enough and told them clearly that they wouldn't be a part of his plans. A fat lot of good that did. Some of them would have been quite useful when they played against Arsenal. But I think Ten Hag now has to once again be extremely ruthless and know when and how to be ruthless. I like the fact that he led that mini recovery with 4 games, and obviously, beating Liverpool and Arsenal would have helped you. But, there is still a lot of work that has to be done. And if Ten Hag has been employed for the long haul, then all this stuff about Ten Hag being chucked out, I think it's silly. I think a lot of the players have to take the blame, and tough decisions will have to be made as to which players have a future at Manchester United and which players don't.
100%. I'm going to go through the comments from Mr. Don TV. A boost for Martial to get 2 goals, maybe he can build in it. We'll see. What's Casemiro Ten Hag signing? That's what I want to know because it doesn't look like it. Casemiro should be ready now, but he seems out of favour, and I don't think he's a Ten Hag signing. That's what I put it down to. United players didn't seem up to it today, and that's a big worry. If you can't get up to a game that means so much to the fans, got to show some passion. But yeah, the thing is, I've always said United players, they don't care about the fans. All they care about is the paycheck that they get every week. The paycheck, that pay rise, they always get. For me, listen, I've got this. I can blame myself for this because I was backing this team to beat City. I was saying that we're going to win. Listen, I got it wrong. And for me, this is where United fans need to learn and relax to take it game by game for me. But yeah, man, for those that was hyping up Rashford, McTominay, this and that. Well, yeah, that's what you get for that. Because for me, I've always said,
Didn't you want Rashford?
what was that?
Didn't you want Rashford to combine 11?
For the combined 11, what stream?
No, not sure, like earlier.
The one that Daps was on. For me, combined 11, I was basing it on form, not overall, because overall Rashford does not get into that. On form,
I mean, as players, I put 0 United players. I said before the game, I still did that. As players, like individual players, not just on form, I think they get the whole team. Same with Arsenal. Like City get 11 Arsenal players as well. Like, they get all that.
No, Saliba gets into that lineup, man.
I don't think he doesn't.
Saliba gets over Stones and Akanji, so it would be
Saliba.
No, listen, I will save Arsenal City stream when you guys face them later on. But
no. Also, by the way, with that, if we lose to City, which we're probably going to lose to them, then don't come at me like for mocking United when you lost them, because the only reason I was mocking is because you guys predicted a win. When we play City, I'm going to be predicting a loss 100%. Like, I think if you predict a loss and you get lost, you shouldn't be mocked for it. Because I know we're going to lose to City, I'll be mocked. Like in a few months.
Oh, Elliot, yeah, that's fine.
You probably get
my train's about to arrive. I'll say my thoughts quickly. Yeah, obviously it's a bad game for United. I had a weird feeling that United could beat Man City. I don't know why, but there was no chance.
No, it was Manchester derby. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
After the 4-0, after the first half, it was like, yeah, there's no chance. This is Man City's all over. But yeah, Haaland, what a player! Thank you, Haaland, for bagging his hat trick today. You know, made a massive. Was it 34? No, 40 points at the end in my fantasy team. Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, I've got to go now, people. So I'll see you next stream, hopefully.
Yeah, next stream, hopefully. Big up. Yeah, big up, Elliot.
Big up.
Appreciate joining. But yeah, as what Elliot said, I listen. I'll back United to win this because Manchester derby. We're going to the Etihad. We've got a good result, but now we have to flip. Now we're terrible at the Etihad now. Unless we can admit even though we've got 7 or 8 wins. Listen, I don't care about these stats, man. Listen, whether I think it was David or how deep they used stats flipping to back United. Right?
It was David, yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think it was David. But for me, listen, the United players, as I said, they should be ashamed. But I just want to see the reaction from Everton away, because Everton away, listen, that is one of the hardest games you can go to. Like, Everton fans will be up for it. Listen, their crowd for me is immense. So I don't know if we can get a draw for that. I don't even know if we can get a draw or win. So for me, they just beat Southampton, flipping 2-1 away. So they got a good result. They won't be playing any European this week, so they're going to get 1 week rest. We're going to be playing on Thursday and then Sunday. So we have no rest. So for me, it's going to be tough. But Ten Hag, mate, he needs to start playing Casemiro because I'm getting sick of it now. We bought for 60 million and he's still on the bench. If I don't see him starting in the next 3 to 4 games, that shows you that he was not a Ten Hag signing. And that just shows you the board was panic buying, as always, because they did it last year. And now we'll see if they do that again. But for me, he's Ten Hag's always said that Casemiro needs to settle in and all of that. But you start Anthony straight away against Arsenal. So I don't see the difference. Like, he says in press conference, he wants Casemiro to settle in, new environment, this and that. But then Anthony gets to start straight away. So I just don't know, man. But there is a point. There's a different view to add that Anthony was Ten Hag's priority. Same with Martinez, so that's why they both start. So you could say that, and I understand. But I just want to see why Casemiro. What's the reason? What's the full-on reason why Casemiro's not starting? But I don't know if Ten Hag trusts him as a lone number 6. I really don't know. and then an experienced pro like Casemiro is settled in. He's using excuses. Exactly, man. Exactly. I just don't understand, man. I just don't understand. Anthony, for me, was skipping training for Ajax. I don't think he was fit for Arsenal, and he still started him. So I don't understand. Anthony refused to go training with Ajax. Casemiro was training with Real Madrid the whole time, but then he's still on the bench. So I don't understand. This is not me saying Ten Hag out. No way. I understand a rebuild takes a couple of years to take, and not a couple of months. So I
More
still
couple
back
years.
Ten Hag. I still back Ten Hag, and I still back him. But for me, January for me is going to be a key month to see what United do. What additions are they going to make? This Bellingham thing, forget it. We're not getting Bellingham. That's all PR from United. We are not getting Bellingham. I'm sorry, but
Who said
Sky
that you'd get
Sports-
Bellingham?
Sky Sports needs to stop, or whoever it is, they need to stop saying that United.
Every club in the world wants Bellingham. He gets to choose any club in the world. Basically.
Quite honestly, I
He
don't
would
even
most
see
likely
Manchester
go
United
to
getting De Jong.
either City or Liverpool for me, but it is what it is for me.
He should go City, in my opinion.
It's just PR again from United, just to gas up United fans. But now, obviously, last time we lost 4-0 to Brentford, Ten Hag cancelled the when we had the day off for training. So let's see what happens now. Let's see what Ten Hag is going to do. He says, great work reacting, analyzing the game. Keep going, big up yourself, and make sure you like and subscribe. Big up yourself. I haven't seen you. I think you're new, so big up yourself. But yeah, man. Manny, should United fans be worried now to see if we're going to react for the next game, or what do you think will happen? Oh, you're on mute, Manny. Manny, you're on mute.
Got it. Yeah, I heard you. I'm sorry about that. So, yeah, listen, I don't really think you're going to have to worry about whether or not there'll be a response, because, yes, there will be a response. Knowing Ten Hag, knowing the players, there will be a response and there will be some changes. If it means having to... My only worry is that as poor as Dalot and Malacia were today, Malacia has a ready replacement in the England left-back Luke Shaw, who, I mean, the thing about Shaw which infuriates me is that you think he's playing well and having a good game, but then he makes some stupid cock-up which, leads to a goal. I think, against Germany, he was sort of outrun for, I think, not outrun, I think he was beaten for Havertz's equaliser, which made it 3-3. And here as well, he played Foden onside, and that led to Foden as well getting his hat-trick. And I don't think, Haaland obviously getting the headlines because he stayed for the whole 90 minutes, but Foden, that boy looked an absolute live wire. Seriously, absolutely outstanding. But back to your question. No, I don't think you need to worry about there being a response. Ten Hag will once again take a look at everything. He will crack the team into shape. And maybe now will be the time that he decides if he can't trust Fred, if he can't trust McTominay, he might as well give Casemiro a chance and see how well he can do. Because it's amazing, and the segues back to Ryan's question as to whether or not Casemiro was a Ten Hag signing. Well, he hasn't had any starts, and yet Anthony was deemed fit to start. I think one thing which I will say in that defense is that obviously with the positions being different and based on what Anthony could offer going forward, it was a no-brainer to start Anthony against Arsenal, and it proved the right decision, because don't forget, he scored against us on his debut, so not bad. And he had an absolute corker of a goal today, and so forth. But there will be a response. My only issue is that going forward, we've had this issue at Arsenal last season where we go on these runs of form. Everyone gets gassed up about how, we're doing so well. We could challenge for top honours with Super Mick Arteta, who knows exactly what we need. With a good defence and a good attack, we could qualify for the Champions League. We all know how that worked. So it just goes to show that having learned the lesson that we can't rely on, we can't rely on these runs of form if we can't win it when it matters. Now you know that in those 4 games, you also should have seen that there was still some chinks in the armor which had to be addressed. And of course, in between, don't forget, you lost to Real Sociedad. So listen, there will be a response. The only issue that I have is, will Ten Hag be strong enough to try to make some changes and decide, as I said, once and for all, that maybe Fred and McTominay will not be the midfield answer going forward. And I just hope that he will at least, stay true to that, because if he decides to continue picking either of those two, McTominay or Fred, then that just goes to show that he's being a little bit hypocritical. And to not give Cristiano a chance today, that was just absolute sacrilege. He's got to bring Ronaldo back in. Rashford was poor today. He looked off the pace. He gave the impression that he was a player who had just come back from injury. Why would you not bring Ronaldo on? Shameful. So if Ten Hag doesn't get his act together and stay true to his philosophy and say, you know what, no player is safe, not even David De Gea, then I think he'll pretty much prove what a hypocrite he is. I'm not going to blame De Gea because it's very easy to look at him. I think he should have, he possibly could have been a little bit stronger for a few of the goals. He did make 1 or 2 decent saves. But it's time to consider, if you buy Martin Dubravka, as he may not be necessarily world-class, but he is an international for Slovakia, and you've also got Tom Heaton, who was surprisingly on the bench today, why not give De Gea a rest? Why not rest him for 1 or 2 games in between, let him rebuild some confidence, and give Dubravka a chance? Or someone else. So Ten Hag's the one who will really decide how your response pans out.
100%. I also think the Dubravka wasn't Ten Hag's signing as well, because Europa League game, if I go back against Sheriff, he was meant to start, but he didn't even travel. So I'm suspicious of that signing as well. So I just don't. To be honest, it's just embarrassing right now. But for me, I want to see a reaction from this side. But I want to go back to Flaus for the same question. Do you think United will react and hopefully perform?
I think, we see what Ralph Rangnick, he didn't really make that many improvements to what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did at the club. Because, they still had big defeats even when they had Ralph Rangnick. So after they sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think, the squad just stayed the same, really. Like, they didn't change any momentum or anything like that. And it just was that, I think Manchester United, all the players at the moment, take Dalot and Wan-Bissaka and stuff like that. I just don't think that they have the mentality to be in the Manchester United team. Because I think, they're in the Premier League, they're in one of the biggest clubs in the world, and they're not saying, oh yeah, I'm in the biggest club in the world. It feels like they're just in a Norwich team or something like that. It doesn't feel like they're in one of the biggest teams in the world. I think that Eric Ten Hag needs to bring in some replacements for them sort of players. I think it's honestly quite kind of stupid how that these players that lost 5-0 to Liverpool and stuff like that are still in the squad. I think Casemiro, he was a good signing, but not playing him I think is ridiculous.
The thing is, I said, Marnie can remember this. Whenever someone said to me, give me a lineup for the City game, I said play Casemiro, McTominay, and Eriksen, drop Bruno, play Eriksen as number 10, and then as midfield 2, play McTominay and Casemiro. So people will get on to me saying, oh, why are you dropping Bruno? This is why he doesn't turn up in big games.
Exactly. Bruno Fernandes, is, as I said before in previous streams, Bruno Fernandes shows up when he wants to. I don't think, you see him show up every now and then. Any games that he wants to show up, he feels like showing up, he will show up.
Mason just joined in the perfect time, we're talking about United, and then look at Mason, I'm joining in.
Hello, mate, you all right?
Am I all right? Are you? Not to me. Am I all right? That's a big question.
Look, listen, right? Everyone will get battered against Man City. It's who I said, Haaland, bro.
Do you think Arsenal have a chance? Do you think Arsenal have a chance?
Martinez had no smoke.
Mason, do you think Arsenal have a chance against City?
Huh?
Do you think Arsenal have a chance to be in City?
We did last season. We did quite well against them last season.
No chance, mate.
We did
I don't care what
last
Arsenal
season,
fans
Mason.
say either. If anyone thinks that anyone this season, obviously someone's going to beat Man City because they're not going to go undefeated, but it won't be any of the top sides.
Probably West Ham.
It'll be one of the lower down ones.
That's West Ham. Yeah.
It'll be like a fucking Fulham who beats them.
I think Tottenham have a chance. I'm being serious. I'm not joking. I think Tottenham might have a chance of beating City at their stadium, not Tottenham Stadium, but at City Stadium, because they always seem to do well.
Yeah,
with
City,
talking about Tottenham, make sure you guys tune in tomorrow when Mason's going to cook Deji tomorrow. So make sure you guys tune into that tomorrow's stream.
If you want to see Deji get smoked and not KSI's brother, big up him. Yeah. you want to see this Deji get smoked, then trust me, you ain't gonna want to miss this, boy.
Yeah, but listen, your thoughts on United's game today, and do you think
What, United?
Yeah.
Bro, just Haaland, bro, Foden as well, man. They've just got way too much for anyone, innit?
Mm-hmm.
They're just too powerful, man. They're just too powerful. I'm so happy that their Arsenal and Man City game got postponed. I'm delighted with that. Because now October seems okay. You know what I mean?
Well, we've got Everton away next week. Do you think United can bounce back and react?
Huh?
Do you think United can bounce back and react next week? Because we've got
Everton away or home?
Away.
Away or Fat Pard. Against Fat Pard's team, innit?
Yeah.
Mate, I have to say,
there's gonna be. I don't think we'll even get a draw because whenever we play Everton away, it's tough for us. Last season, we saw what happened, what Ronaldo did to that boy's phone.
Yeah.
We never did well.
Oh, shit, I almost got run over. Fuck.
We had Cavani. That's what
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
That would have been jokes. I almost got run over for the stream.
But anyways, as I was saying, Everton away, we never do well, Mason. We never do well Everton away. But...
Yeah, but Ten Hag ain't gonna want to let this shit slide, bro. Let's be real now. You know, he's gonna want to ship you guys back. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna want this bullshit that I saw today. Like when I tuned in the second half, because don't get me wrong, I didn't watch the fucking first half, yeah. But obviously I watched the highlights of the first half, and they were looking all over you. I think Haaland was just fucking dominating you. I don't think Everton has that. So I think he'll pull something out of the Everton game.
For me, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure, but we'll save that for the next stream.
Most importantly, yeah, I want to know, to be honest, I want to know what David is thinking of United's chances of winning the league.
Well, you will have to find out tomorrow, mate. Tomorrow.
I will. Don't worry. Is he coming on as well?
Yep.
Oh, man. This is going to be a roast party, I swear down. Nah. Focus, man. The main focus is Deji. Wait, is that American geezer coming on as well? That American Tottenham fan?
Hopefully.
Hope so as well.
Marnie, we're gonna end now. It's fine. Yeah.
Man.
Listen, guys, we're gonna wrap it up because we're gonna save it for the tomorrow's stream. Because tomorrow's stream, you guys do not want to miss that stream tomorrow. We haven't decided what time yet because we have to talk to people about that. But it will be around either 6 or 7 or 8. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow and review some games. Honestly, people can smoke me, man. I don't care. Well, except if you don't support Arsenal, then you don't deserve to smoke me. If you do support Arsenal, then fair enough, because obviously top of the league hype and all that. But any other team?
Oris, let me make something clear. Listen, I love you as you're like a younger brother to me. In fact, you're almost young enough to be my son. I mean, you might be a bit of a cheeky little bugger, but if there's one thing I will never ever do, it's smoke you. Okay?
Yeah, I understand. I'm just talking about people in general now. Not you, obviously, but I'm talking about others. Like,
I'd rather see a Tottenham fan.
Yeah. Big up Huddersfield Town TV. Appreciate for tuning in. But we're gonna get people to shout out their socials and etc. Marnie, where can people find you?
Yeah, as usual, people can find me on Twitter having a few spirited debates with some Arteta out inners, rather. I'm still Arteta out for now, although I'm not really publicizing it. The handle is Thangadurai1981. That's my surname and my year of birth. You can also catch me on Instagram at MannyThangadurai1981, which is my full name and my year of birth. And you can catch me on a few channels on YouTube, Del Boy Gunner TV, which is where I made my introduction, if you will. S. Featley TV, Hanno's Coach Corner, just did a watch along for the Manchester Derby today. Wonderful person, terrific content, terrific channel. Of course, Oris Talks Football, terrific channel, terrific content, terrific person. a bit cheeky at times, as I've said, but still a good bloke at heart. And King's Football Show with King Saint, the Football Thought podcast with NS Sports TV, and maybe a few other channels here and there, maybe my own channel coming up soon. We'll see what happens. But for now, I'm just happy to go on other streams, say what I want to say, let the chips fall where they may, engage in some spirited debate. No, slagging off other teams, no roasting anyone, but just know that if people try to, come at me, you think you're hard enough, I'm going to be a lot harder than you. And with that, enjoy your Sunday, and see you all next week. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Peace. And I'm out.
Big up, Marnie. Joe, where can people find you?
I've got Joe _D03 on Instagram, and I did have Instagram going on different channels. Well, I mean, go on North Morning channels for the moment, but I want to go Hello streams and watch along maybe in the future. So yeah.
But yeah, obviously you guys can find me crying in the mud right now. I'm joking now. You can find me here obviously on Oris Football. Instagram, make sure you guys follow on Instagram, Oris Football. But yeah, tune in tomorrow, guys, on the comments, whoever's watching. We've got 6 people watching, so tune in tomorrow. We're doing a game week 9 review. That should be fun because I urge all Arsenal fans to watch tomorrow's stream because it's gonna be a nice stream. It's gonna be a nice stream. Hopefully not too far. Comments. We got comments. Oh my days, mate. Go away, mate. Go away. But yeah, big up everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow.